Good morning. So it strikes me that the Sheriff's Department press conferences were all right on time, not a minute late, and I didn't want you guys to get spoiled. I want to thank you all for coming, and let me start by just indicating what a big and coordinated effort it took, to bring these people back into custody. And I think that you all know that, but there were a lot of agencies involved. The Sheriff's Department did a great job coordinating the whole thing, and I just wanted to say a few things about what our office did. But in saying that, I don't want anyone to think that we're taking anything away from any other agency, and certainly not from the sheriff. But over the weekend, and since the escapes began, more than 50 Orange County District Attorney Office personnel have been involved in the assistance of the investigation and the preparation for the cases relating to the jail escape. Our personnel have worked around the clock, including reviewing, approving, and coordinating with the court over 60 search and arrest warrants involving complicated legal issues dealing with social media, technology, as well as physical locations. They've been involved in securing international warrants, providing legal expertise during interviews of arrestees and the investigation of the case, providing 3 surveillance teams 24/7 and other intermittent surveillance support as well. We've assigned one Orange County DA investigator to the U.S. Marshal Service Investigations Fugitive Task Force. We provided witnesses and law enforcement personnel with protection and relocation, and coordinated with local police departments who provided local support to the Sheriff's Department by conducting interviews with residents and neighborhood checks. And we provided a crime analyst who worked with the Orange County Intelligence Assessment Center. So regarding Hussein Nairi, Jonathan Tu, and Bok Duong, and regarding the activities of the 3 and the possible crimes that the 3 committed while they were out on the run, those matters are still under investigation, and so I won't be able to discuss those at this time. Tomorrow, Hussein Nairi has a pretrial date in Department C5. All 3 are due in court tomorrow. Our plan right now is to go forward with Nairi's trial as scheduled on February 23rd for the torture and kidnapping case. We'll also be ready for Tu's trial, which is set for March 18th for the gang-related special circumstances murder. In the Tu case, not sure if it's all that clear from the press release, but Tu was an active participant in the murder, and it was as a gang member, but was not the actual shooter in the case. The name of the shooter is Benjamin Nguyen, and I believe we have a photo. So here's a photo of Benjamin Nguyen, and we're adding Benjamin Nguyen to the Orange County DA's most wanted list. There's a warrant out for his arrest. He's never been arrested on this case, and he in fact got away. So please help us find and bring Benjamin Nguyen to justice if you can. We have been and continue to be ready on this case. That's the Tu case, and we want to bring that case to a conclusion. We'll also request to set Duong's case for trial on his attempted murder charges and take him to trial as soon as possible. All 3 have a court date on their escape charges tomorrow, and we'll announce our decision tomorrow as to what we're going to do with those cases, how we're going to file the escape charges and so forth. And there have been multiple arrests of suspects related to this escape. We filed charges against one defendant, Lok Ba Nguyen, for smuggling weapons into a correctional facility, sending an article useful for escape into a prison, aiding a prisoner's escape, and the personal use of a knife. The maximum sentence Nguyen faces is 5 years and 4 months in state prison. He's due in court on February 22nd, 2016. And as for Ms. Nushafarin Ravaji, the ESL teacher, We requested further investigation of the Sheriff's Department concerning her case. At this time, we have insufficient evidence to charge her with any crime. The information was released about a personal romantic relationship that Hossein Nayari and Ms. Ravaji were involved in based on some love letters, and upon further investigation, as it turns out, the love letters that were found in Ms. Ravaji's possession appear to have been written by Hossein Nayari and not by Ms. Ravaji. Also, it should be noted that Ms. Ravaji is continuing to cooperate with the investigation, and steps have been taken to reduce any risk of her leaving the jurisdiction. So she'll be released, but like I say, steps have been taken to make sure she doesn't leave the jurisdiction. I wanted to thank the public, law enforcement, and the media all for coming together to put these dangerous people back behind bars. We're actively working to investigate and consider charges on the 3 escapees, the ESL teacher, and others. We'll try to have updates as they become available, and thank you for your patience.
Can you talk about Lakba Nguyen, please? Go into again what he is alleged to have done. This is the gentleman who you said smuggled weapons into the jail. Is he a gang member, and also what are the allegations against him?
I don't have information that he's a gang member, but the allegations are that it's just like I said here, that he smuggled items into the jail, and I don't think I can go into more detail about how that was accomplished at this point. It's still all under investigation, and how that was done, how that wound up in the jail and in the possession of the escapees is all a matter that is subject to continuing investigation. We have to let all the evidence come out on those. And yes, sir.
Tony, did they have any sort of reciprocal relationship? I mean, did she write back to him in any of these letters?
We don't have any letters that she wrote. We had letters that we thought she wrote, but comparison of the handwriting indicates that he wrote all of it.
Indicate that they had some sort of relationship.
Well, I really can't get any better on that for you. I mean, much of the relationship that we thought they had was based on the letters. Now, they certainly had seen each other a lot. She had been his ESL teacher at Theo Lacey, and then in the central jail. So they knew each other from that relationship, of course. And
why
yes.
was he taking that class if he spoke English?
He went to high school here.
In fact, I understand he spoke English, well,
Yeah.
maybe better than I do. I'm stumbling a lot. But I think that I understand it's pretty common at the jail. If somebody does speak a foreign language, they can possibly justify taking ESL classes, they do, because it gets them out of the routine of sitting around in the cell. And and although you might think that he wouldn't want to be distracted from sawing away at bars and things like that,
So
but
at this point, Tony, he won't be afforded those luxuries in the jail any longer, will he? What is his classification?
well, that's entirely up to the sheriff, and I believe not. I mean, I think that you're absolutely right. I don't believe that there's any chance for him to be involved with other people that are in custody and so forth. But I understand that the sheriff has a press conference coming up pretty soon, and she's certainly more able to answer that. Yes.
So did she not provide the Google Earth image to the area or the other inmates, as the sheriff had indicated earlier?
We had an indication that she had, and we're looking for that to. We're trying to get that as actual physical evidence, but we don't have that. That's one of the areas that we're still investigating, and we're working to try to to try to develop, and we continue to work on all of the computer and digital evidence and so forth to see whether or not we can come up with something in that regard. But the fact is that it is not. We don't have a. It hasn't physically materialized that we have such a map. Yes, sir.
Is she still in custody, and what are the plans? Can you give us a little more plan on, her release?
She's going to be released from custody today, and we're going to be asking for a 2-week continuance of her arraignment so that we can complete this investigation and get it done one way or the other.
Is she released? Is there any kind of bail, or is she just being released?
She's going to be released on her OR, and but we will be taking some precautions to try to keep her from fleeing. And I don't think she will flee. By the way, I mean she's being cooperative. She has every reason to stay. But as far as things like her passport and so forth, all of that is being held, so she can't
Mr. Rackauckas,
travel.
you said that over 60 search warrants were given out. Can you tell us what some of those search warrants were for, and can you elaborate on the social media technology stuff that you were looking at?
Search warrants for residences, vehicles, all kinds of things that were coming up as the investigation was continuing.
Cell phones?
Pardon me?
Cell phones? Mobile phones?
Cell phones, digital devices, yes.
Mr. Rackauckas, who or what failed in this case? There's been a lot of talk about issues with the jail surveillance system. In your opinion, based on what you guys know about the investigation, who or what failed in this case?
I don't have enough information to really give you an opinion about that. I think we will have all of the evidence on that in time, and the sheriff's working hard on it. We're working to keep track of it. So we'll have all that, but we don't have it now. Wait a second. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, can you give us a little bit more detail about this Mr. Wynn who was arrested, when he was arrested, what weapons he brought into the jail, and did it aid them in their escape? Did they have the weapons in possession? Who did he give it to?
I can't give you more information about Mr. Wynn at this point.
Is it related to the escape? I mean, there's like a lot of people who've been arrested. Can you at least make some connection for us? How is this connected to this you're going to have to get out of jail?
Well, he imported, or he smuggled items into the jail that assisted in the escape. Tools and things of that nature.
How?
Well, I'm not prepared to give you that at this point. We
Was he
will.
arrested and that's how he got them in, or was he a visitor?
He was not a visitor, and he was arrested for smuggling things into the jail. There was a question up here. Yes, sir.
Would the escape have been possible without Mr. Wynn's help?
That would require some speculation that I'm not able to give.
His tools, the tools you're talking about, were they key in getting out of the jail and cutting through some of those materials?
He put tools. He got tools into the jail that would be helpful in these 3 people getting out of the jail, and that's as much as I can say.
Can you please spell
Determine his
his name?
involvement.
Pardon me?
How and when did you determine his involvement? Surveillance video, intercepted calls?
During the time of that these 3 people were out, and it was part of the investigation that was ongoing, and so it's been in the last few days that we got the information that we have now.
Can you tell us what led you to him?
No.
Is he an employee or inmate?
No, he's not an employee or inmate in the jail. Yes, sir.
Is it fair then to say that the focus has shifted from Ravagi to Wynn as far as a person who helped them break out?
No, that wouldn't be fair to say. We're looking for everything that took place that assisted them in the breakout. So it's not, there isn't that kind of a shift where all the attention is going to one person.
What's his connection to the jail then that would have allowed them to be able to?
I can't give you any more information about that, but I can see that you're curious about it, and we'll certainly release whatever information we can as we're able to.
Let the sheriff have more
Right. What you have right now, what I gave you, that's it. That's all I can give you at this point.
Spell his name and his age?
Sure.
And did you say he also brought a map in? Is that what you read to us earlier?
It's Lock, L-O-C, Ba, B-A, and Nguyen, N-G-U-Y-E-N.
How old is he?
I don't have his age.
Tony, we know that you don't want a Monday morning quarterback, however,
You're right, thank you.
agency spent a lot of time tracking down Mr. Nayeri all around the world.
Yes, that's
along with
correct.
many other law enforcement agencies.
I'm glad you recognize that.
And
That he was a tough guy to bring into custody in the first place, so it was quite a disappointment and a matter of concern that he had escaped.
And so to learn, and I may not have this absolutely correct, but it's my understanding that he was what's referred to as a white band. He had a very low classification level.
I'm not gonna comment on anything about how he was housed in the jail and what led to his, if it was too low a security or what. It wouldn't be fair for me to make any comment about that. I don't frankly have enough information to make an intelligent comment concerning it.
And so how will you articulate to the sheriff? You obviously want to make sure it doesn't happen again.
The sheriff is very clear on being sure that it doesn't happen again. Look, I mean, this is a whole national story. It doesn't take me to go tell the sheriff, don't let him out again, right?
Mr. Rackauckas, you talked about 3
Well,
surveillance
it won't
teams that
happen
were
again.
activated. Can you tell us what type of surveillance they were conducting and how important that was to the search?
You're talking about the surveillance done by our investigators?
The 3 teams.
The
that you
3
talked about,
teams?
the 3 locations.
There was a lot of, well, no, there were more than 3 locations. There was a lot of surveillance that was done on various locations, all of the places where you might expect one or any of these people to go to, or possibly actually during the time that they were out, there were some indications that one or more of them had been in one place or another, and so those areas were surveilled. So our 3 teams were not the only surveillance teams out there. We were just indicating that we did assist in that.
But what type of surveillance are you talking about? Were you saying like camera surveillance, just physical being out there?
Right, physically being out there and so forth, setting up cameras and so forth. Mm-hmm.
And was that important into the capture? I mean, did that lead to the capture?
Well, I'm not able to say that it led to the capture. It was part of the team effort.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
On the issue of Ravagi, how did things get so misconstrued? You say now Nguyen was the one who brought him a map, not her.
The question is, how did things get so misconstrued? I think that there was a great deal of activity, and that investigators are looking for anything and everything that might tend to shed light on the escape, and anything that might tend to point in some direction. And she had quite a bit of contact with Nayeri, and these letters came up, and it just, and there were some other indications as well that made it look like she was involved in helping with the escape, or possibly conspiring prior to the escape. But and I think that it's unfortunate that she was so quickly labeled as a conspirator. And I think it's important to say at the earliest possible time that the evidence is not looking so strong as with respect to her being a possible conspirator, or an aider and abettor, or an accessory. And so I just wanted to announce that as soon as we could.
Well, do you think that they still had an interview?
Wait a second.
Did she help in any way once she was being held?
You know, I don't know that, and I can let me give you just to say that that the indicators that we had that that might have indicated that she was possibly getting ready to escape or doing things like that, all had other reasonable explanations as we got more into it. And I don't want to give you the impression that that's all done by the district attorney's office. This is sheriff's department investigators and working to make these discoveries. There was a question here.
Yeah. Would you still categorize a relationship with him as being inappropriate for teacher and inmate?
Well, that is not really the province of that. It's not really something that I think I should do, to tell you the truth. I mean, you know, as far as the appropriateness of it in terms of the policy at the jail or the policy of the company that she was working with, you know, they're going to have to make that determination. You know, I think she got closer to him than an ESL teacher should get. I think it was less. It was not just a teacher-student relationship. I think it got closer than that, and then of course that raised suspicions. Yes.
As far as in the area, why did you feel the need to put out this statement distancing your office from the Hannibal Lecter comments?
Well, there was an escape. These three people were out. Everybody was working together hard to try to get them back into custody. We were cooperating with the sheriff's department, and to a great extent, if you look at that entire comment, it was very critical of the sheriff's department, and criticizing the sheriff's department by my office was certainly not something that should be done at the time. Certainly premature, and all of that will come in due time. Whether or not the sheriff's department was completely professional and had no negligence, and these guys just managed to escape, or whether there was some negligence involved. I mean, I think all of that will come out in the as that matter is investigated. But it certainly wasn't up to us to jump on the sheriff's department and start criticizing them at such a critical time. Yes, sir.
Can you give us any other indication as to the relationship between Wynn and the three men who escaped?
No. No, I think we discussed that. I can't release any more information about that. But that'll be coming. It'll come out. You know, I know you guys want it right now, but we'll get it.
You said the tools would be helpful in them getting. Did they actually use those tools to get out that he brought in?
Some.
So they did use them to get out. That they helped.
That's about as far as I can go. You guys are really good at asking these questions and digging for a little more information. You're good at it too. You're good at it too. Yes, sir. Yes.
Is there a timeline, sir, that you can just share when it's suspected that the gentleman who brought the tools in to the jail and the weapons, from that point to the time they were actually used? Is there a timeline? Was it a day, 2 weeks, a month?
Give me that question again.
From the point you believe the suspect, I can't remember his name, that brought in the tools and the weapons, from the point you believe he brought those into the jail, what's the timeline from that point to the escape?
Short time, and within a couple of days.
Do you believe Nairi is still the mastermind behind this all, or is there a bigger organized, perhaps crime syndicate, perhaps in the Asian community?
We don't have a belief as to who the mastermind is with respect to the escape.
Is there a bigger crime organization, do you think, behind this effort as well?
There's a Vietnamese gang, and you know, if you look at the Tew case, just to give you an idea, that was a case where about 18 gang members were involved in assaulting another gang. So they're all very close. They work together, and and then they depend on each other. They get they protect each other's back, you might say. Wait a minute. What?
The 3 defendants are going right now on the same charges at CJ1.
Oh.
So you said that it's going to be tomorrow, so you should probably tell them. Today, it's now. Cindy's recording.
Who's doing it?
Cindy Nichols.
Who?
Cindy Nichols.
All right. So all 3 defendants are being arraigned now, as we speak, on the escape charges. Pardon me?
So our prosecutor's going over now. The defense is over there now, so any minute.
CJ1.
Yes.
So what's happening tomorrow?
What about Ms. Ravaki? Do we have time to see
Is
her?
Wynn part of this?
Miss,
Ravaki?
right,
Which far end for Ravaki?
right. We are going to request to continue her court date for 2 weeks.
Understand. In terms of her release from jail today, and it sounds like that's happening today.
Yes.
Is there a time frame for that? Or has it already?
Oh, I don't know what the time period that it takes for the sheriff to do the necessary paperwork and what they do to release somebody from jail. Yes, sir.
Sir, yes, sir. Do you, again, if you would confirm, who do your office believe was the shooter in the Q case?
That was Benjamin Wynn, and if we could put his picture up there. There he is.
Any relation to law?
No relation that they're not, I don't believe they're related in terms of like family members.
And is Locke Nguyen also in this gang that too is involved?
I don't know that.
Is the gang, can you identify the gang as TRG?
I don't give names of gangs because it tends to make the gangs feel more important. So I just don't use their names.
One gang or multiple gangs?
Well, multiple gangs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time, your attention, and I appreciate it.